How is she going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. You know, I love when you're up in the shop, so thanks a million for doing that today. And today, I want to talk to you about footwear again. Yeah, we're going to talk about some footwear. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And if you're just new to the channel, well, welcome. I appreciate that too. But over the past 3 years, I'm going to say, I've reviewed Fitville footwear. And I find Fitville footwear to be very comfortable for me, right? This is just me talking. I'm just one of, what is there, 8 billion people in the world? But I'm just going to give you my opinion of Fitville footwear. I have hard feet to fit. I've got lots of problems with my feet. I've got flat feet. I've got corns, calluses, corns, bunions. And it's not because I wear tight shoes, or in my youth I wore ill-fitting shoes, because when I was a younger lad, I worked at a men's clothing store and we sold shoes. So like I knew how to fit shoes. I know what to look for in a good shoe because I used to sell them, and I'd advise people on, you know, the type of shoe to get. So all my life I've had, I'm going to say, proper fitting footwear. Now I'm very thankful for that. I'm lucky because not many people get that opportunity, but I did. So yeah, I had good fitting shoes. But anyway, I had a few accidents over the years and to my feet, and because of that, especially my left foot is has got a damaged second toe in. You know, like this is, say, just your big toe. This is the second toe in. That toe had a dislocated knuckle in it when I was probably 14 years old, and the doc just figured it was just a bruise or something. But anyways, needless to say, you know, 60 years later, she's pretty well screwed. But yeah, that foot causes me a lot of pain all the time. And I also have metatarsalgia. Now, if you do some research, find out what that is. It's on the foot where between, well, I guess around where the first knuckle would be, which would be these knuckles. If you were talking, if this was a foot, it would be these knuckles, between these knuckles and these knuckles. That area of the foot pad down here gets inflamed and swollen and irritated, and that hurts, and that's called metatarsalgia. And I have that bad on both feet. Because of that, I need padding under my metatarsal area here to help ease that pain. And I also have flat feet, so I have to wear orthotics. And just a word about orthotics. Orthotics are great. If you don't have orthotics yet and your feet are bugging you, I would go see an orthotic person. I don't know what you call them, podiatrists or something, I don't know. But anyway, a knowledgeable person about foot alignment and orthotics and how they hold your foot in the proper alignment, because orthotics make a big difference in how your feet feel. And you know what? Foot health is vitally important, because if your feet are messed up, then what happens is it causes your knees to be stressed and strained in areas where they shouldn't be stressed and strained. And then when you make corrections in your gait, the way you walk, to help your knees from getting sore, then that just translates right up into your hips. And then your hips start saying, hey, just a second now, we're not doing this quite right. And they'll start hollering at you. So yeah, you know, your foot alignment is important. Anyway, enough about foot science. I'm sounding like I'm a foot doctor, but I'm not. But anyway, I'm going to talk to you today about Fitville Shoes. Fitville Shoes, you know, this is going to be the 5th pair of Fitville shoes I've had probably in the last 3 years, maybe. The first pair I just went out and bought on my own. And after that, Fitville contacted me and asked me if I would do a video to promote their shoes. Or not to promote them, do a video to review their shoes. In fact, the last email I got, it stated, this is not a quote, but I'm just going to say, it said, please do a review of our footwear and put it on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, wherever, the community bulletin board in town, and give us your honest opinion of the Fitville shoes. If it's good, that's wonderful. That's what we'd like to see. If it's a critique about our Fitville shoes, we don't really like to see those, it said, but we like to hear about them so that we can maybe make some modifications and changes and redesign our footwear to accommodate, you know, problems. So, you know, when you hear that from a company, first of all, that tells me that this company is not just, you know, wrapping canvas around to last and putting a sole on it and sending it away and getting $100 for it. They're actually interested in the product that they make, and they are. They're made offshore. They're made in China. I think this pair of shoes is made in China, but you know their creation was domestic here in North America. So, you know, if that means anything to you, I don't know. In this day and age, you know, with what's going on in the U.S. with their trade embargoes and tariffs and whatnot, a lot of people are kind of hesitant to go to the U.S. looking for any kind of product. But, you know, you can't, what I find is I try to get the best I can get for what I'm spending. And if I have to go to the U.S. to get that, I guess that's what I'll do. I try to shop locally first off, and then, you know, even getting offshore now, equipment from offshore or parts and pieces or clothing or footwear from offshore, not as bad as it once was. They're getting better, I have to say. And that, you know, that's a good news, bad news story. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. But anyway, Fitville Shoes, they're very, very nice. I really like them. So let's have a look at this pair. So as I open these Fitville shoes here that I just got, I need to say this, you know, to be totally frank and for all transparency, I have some family and friends that have purchased Fitville shoes based on my recommendations, I must say, and they're not happy with their Fitville shoes. So Fitville shoes are not the answer to everybody. I think they're the answer for what's going on with me and my feet, but they're not necessarily the answer for everyone's foot problems. So bear that in mind. And what I'm going to tell you here is what I think of Fitville shoes and my recommendations. First of all, Fitville contacted me and they said, sure, we'd love to have you do another video. Go on our site and pick out any pair of shoes that you want. And I must say, that was a hard job because there are literally hundreds of styles of shoes on the Fitville website. There's work shoes, there's sports shoes, there's tennis shoes, there's golf shoes, there's running shoes, there's walking shoes, there's hiking shoes, there's clogs, there's summer shoes, there's sandals, you know, boating shoes, deck shoes, you name it, they have it. And you know what, their prices are not scary high. They're not the lowest ones in the book, that's for sure, but they're very, very, I think, well priced for what you get. Anyway, these are the new ones that I bought. They're, what are they called? I'll just tell you. It says right on the box here. They're called Fitville Brisk Walk Oxford Deluxe V1. How about that for handle? And they're extra wide because I have wide feet. One of the things Fitville is famous for is their large toe box, and I have to say that's the case. However, right now I'm wearing a pair of Fitville hikers, and I found the toe box was a little bit tight on these. It wasn't uncomfortable for me. It wasn't as comfortable as the walkers. I had Fitville walkers before. Fitville walkers V1, I think they were. I found those super comfortable. It was like putting on slippers when you put those on. But the hikers, not so much. So I'm hoping that these Oxfords here are nicer. I also wanted to get a shoe that, like the ones I had were like a walking shoe or a hiker shoe. And they, well, they didn't look dressy, right? And sometimes I like to dress up when I'm going to the post office. But anyway, I got these ones. So what do I like about these so far? Well, I just took them out of the box. I don't know that I'm a fan of the two-tone color. I think this sole on them here is going to get scuffed up and dirty, and then the shoes will always look dirty. But I thought I'd try them. The shoe itself has kind of a built-in arch support and a wide toe box, like I said. It also has, I don't know what they call it, some kind of material that they put in the heel that's supposed to ease the impact when you step on them, and then kind of give you a little when you get up, when you step forward in them. So, you know, I think a lot of shoemakers do that now, little gel pads they put in there, you know, to help you put a little spring in your step. They have a nice little loop at the back for helping you pull them on. However, I doubt that I'll use that because what I have is, well, in the camp at least, I have a long shoe horn. It's one that I made, made out of a rain gutter, but anyway, it works. And it's about 30 inches long, so I don't even have to bend over and put my shoes on. So consequently, lazy old Grampie here, I put my shoes on, lace them up, snug them up, tie them, and then only when they become untied on their own do I ever retie them. So I just slip them on, slip them off, right? And that's probably not the best way to have a shoe fit properly on your feet, but hey, that's the way I do it. So anyways, I'm going to try these ones on, so let's have a look, see how they fit. So we're going to take off, these are the hikers that I was talking to you about. They were nice, they're nice and rugged, but they still had good flex here in the metatarsal area. This is the metatarsal area of the shoe right here. And it had good flex there, which they say that's what you need to look for. So let's just compare that with these ones. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. Now I usually have orthotics in my shoes, but I'm not putting them in this time, just to try the shoe on. Here, we'll get rid of that sticker. What does that sticker say? Care instructions. Oh yeah. Probably have to change the oil every couple of 100 hours. Okay, first impressions with the right foot. It feels good, but the arch feels low in that to me, so I'm going to have to put my orthotics in it, I'm sure. My left foot is my problem foot, so this is the one that I really have to pay attention to. Glad I don't have holes in my socks today. Holy darn, that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Alright, let's try that one. Yeah, I can feel, both of them feel good in the metatarsal area, but like I can definitely feel that I need my orthotics in there. So let's just take them off again. And I'm going to take the orthotics out of these hikers, if I can get them. Now one thing they say, at the store where I got my orthotics, they said when you're buying shoes, make sure that there's a nice amount of upper here, to so that when you put your orthotics in them, that they still support your heel. So that's one thing that Fitville have. So I'm going to take the Fitville insole that came with them, taking that out. I also have a metatarsal pad here that I'm going to put in, and I'm going to put that just about where my metatarsal area would be, and then I'm going to put the orthotic in. And just because this is on video, I'm going to unlace them and put this to slip them on. So I'm not going to use the shoe horn. And like I say, I'm doing this on my left foot because this is my problem foot. If my left foot feels comfortable, my right foot will just join the party. Let's see how that feels. You know what? That feels pretty decent for a brand new shoe right out of the box. Okay, I'm going to do the same with this one now. My orthotics already have metatarsal pads in them, but I also have this pad that goes on the bottom to help with that. Alright, we'll put this guy on now. Oh, we better untie it, eh? Another thing they say about a good shoe is if the heel part here, if that's good and sturdy, in other words, it'll take some slipping into and pushing down on it, and without it crushing or deforming, that's always a good sign. And I haven't had much problem with the Fitville shoes in that regard either. In fact, here's the hikers that I've been wearing now for over a year, and like that still is as solid and sturdy as anything. So, all right, how does that feel? Ooh, baby, you know what? For right out of the box, they feel great. So I have to say, I'm still liking Fitville shoes. So yeah, I'm happy with these Fitville shoes. You know, if you have a wide foot that you need a big toe box with metatarsal pain or discomfort, I think Fitville shoe might be the answer for you. But bear in mind, it's not the answer to everybody, right? Because I know people who have never had success with Fitville shoes. But for me, I think they fit good, and I'm recommending them. They're Grampie's Workshop approved. But anyways, if you're interested in getting a pair of these, there's a discount code in the description box down below. And I don't get any reimbursement from that. I'm not doing this as a paid advertisement. Fitville gave me these shoes to review, but I don't get any kickback. Like if you buy the shoes, there's nothing comes back to me over that. So other than knowing that you're a satisfied customer. So check them out. Let me know in the comments too if you've had Fitville shoes, if you liked them, if you disliked them, what you liked, what you didn't like, and I'll pass that along to Fitville for their perusal. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget, thumbs up me, eh? Have a great week, folks, and we'll talk to you soon.